All right, so let's make a strawberry rhubarb pie. In this bowl, I have 4 cups of strawberries. Obviously, the ends with the stem cut off, and they're cut into different size pieces. And then I have rhubarb, and they're cut into different size pieces for texture. You don't want all your fruit breaking down. I've got an egg. I've got butter. In this bowl, I have a half cup of all-purpose flour, and I have 1 cup of white sugar. I have my 9-inch pie plate with a crust in it. Nothing fancy on the crust because it's going to have a top crust. I have the other 9-inch piece of crust on standby. And I have my oven at 400. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take the 4 cups of strawberries and the 2 cups of rhubarb, and I'm going to put them in this bowl, and I'm going to toss it together, and it's going to set for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes, and this has sat in the flour and sugar. Everything's been absorbed. You guys see it, the flour, the sugar. It's made that little pasty stuff, and that's why you let this sit. You let the juices from the fruit activate that flour and sugar. That's your thickening agent for this pie. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pour this into our crust. And I mean, it doesn't make a huge billowing pie, but I tell you what, this pie is like, oh my gosh. It is so good. So make sure you get all that. Don't leave it in there because you need that. Truly, you do. So let's get it all. Okay, and then I'm just gonna move everything around, get it setting nicely in here. And then I have another crust. And you can just take the whole crust and you could moisten the edge of this, put the other crust on and do a pretty, you know, like forks or whatever to seal it together, cut a couple slits and leave it at that. I'm a little extra, so yeah. I have the crust, and what I've done is I have cut it into strips. And so that's what we'll be doing. I'm going to get a little bit of water. Just a little bit of water. Okay. And I'm going to start moistening this edge because obviously this crust has been sitting. It's a little dry. So I'm just dotting water along the edge of this. Like so. And I'm going to let that set in to get sticky. We want it sticky. I've got I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this butter and I'm just putting it in little chunks, and it's going just wherever. I mean, it's soft butter. You could use cold butter. It doesn't matter, truly. So we dot it with the butter all over the place. And then we're going to get to work on the top of the crust. So there, our 2 tablespoons of butter in. This should be sticky, which it is. Okay, this is always the hard part. This is the part I always mess up on. Okay, we're going to start here. Don't press anything down yet, because what you're going to do... Oh, it's been so long. Okay. No, too long. The long pieces, the long strips that you've cut, you're going to want to save those because we're going to weave it. So just kind of preliminarily get pieces laid out. Alright, so the last video cut off and I started doing this. So I'm going to do the last 2 strips, which they're going to go, okay, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and then like, okay, so the last video cut off, and obviously you guys didn't get to see this, but I got it woven over the top. Therefore, we don't need to cut any holes in anything. It's going to get brushed with egg wash after I trim all this excess hanging off and press it with a little bit of water to get it all to stick. Egg wash, brushed all over with egg wash. It's going into the 400-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes until bubbly. And after 35 minutes at 400, it's come out. Now let it cool, and then you can move it into the fridge. I would let it get cold. It's best served cold to me with either whipped cream or vanilla ice cream. And yes, I just said ice cream, so there y'all go. But yeah, strawberry rhubarb pie. Stay busy, y'all.